Have you ever felt like life is rushing by so fast that you barely have time to catch your breath? Maybe it feels like you're constantly running, chasing goals, fulfilling obligations, checking off endless to-do lists. Yet somehow, the finish line always seems out of reach. And in the rare moments when you pause, you might ask yourself, is this it? Is this all there is to life? What's fascinating is that while so many of us feel trapped in this cycle, there are others who seem to move through life with a calm sense of purpose. Even in the face of adversity, they radiate peace, strength, and clarity. How do they do it? Are they simply born with some innate wisdom that the rest of us lack? Or is there something they've discovered? A way of seeing the world that allows them to thrive where others struggle? Here's the truth. Life's challenges are inevitable. There's no escaping hardship, no shortcut to bypass pain, no magical solution to eliminate all your struggles. But what if the key to a more fulfilling, balanced, and peaceful life isn't about avoiding challenges, but about learning how to face them with wisdom? What if the secret lies not in controlling life's chaos, but in controlling how you respond to it? In today's video, we're diving into some of the most powerful life lessons, distilled from the wisdom of those who've walked this path before us, our elders. These are people who've lived through struggles, triumphs, heartbreaks, and transformations, and their experiences have left behind a treasure trove of insights. But here's the twist. We're not just going to stop there. We'll also connect these lessons to timeless Buddhist philosophy, a system of thought that has guided people toward peace and enlightenment for over 2,500 years. Together, these teachings can help us uncover the kind of wisdom that changes everything: how we think, how we feel, and ultimately, how we live. Think about it. Have you ever felt stuck? Like no matter what you do, you're not getting anywhere? Or maybe you felt unfulfilled, chasing goals that seem hollow once you achieve them. Perhaps you've wondered if you're on the right path at all. If any of that resonates with you, then this video is exactly what you need. You're not alone. And more importantly, there's a way forward. Together, we'll explore the art of prioritizing what truly matters, the resilience to rise above life's struggles, and the discipline to create a life that aligns with your deepest values. We'll uncover the beauty of letting go of what no longer serves you, the importance of nurturing both your health and your spirit, and the peace that comes from trusting life's process, even when it feels uncertain. These lessons aren't abstract theories, they're practical, actionable ideas that you can begin applying today. By the end of this video, you won't just feel inspired, you'll feel equipped. You'll have a roadmap for navigating life's ups and downs with clarity, confidence, and a sense of purpose. So, whether you're here out of curiosity or because you're searching for something more, stick around. This journey might just be the shift you've been looking for. After all, every transformation begins with a single step. Are you ready to take yours? Let's begin. 1. The power of priorities and self-worth. Time is the one resource that each of us is given in equal measure, and yet, it often feels like it slips through our fingers faster than we can grasp it. Why is it that some people seem to navigate life with clarity and purpose, accomplishing what matters most, while others feel overwhelmed by endless to-do lists and scattered commitments? The answer lies not in how much time we have, but in how we choose to use it. As the saying goes, no one is too busy, it's only a matter of priorities. This simple truth carries a profound lesson. Our time is a reflection of what we value. In Buddhist philosophy, this idea aligns with the practice of mindfulness, which invites us to approach each moment with presence and intention. Mindfulness isn't just about meditation or quiet moments of reflection. It's about being fully engaged in the choices we make. Are we choosing to invest our time in what nourishes our well-being? Or are we allowing distractions to dictate our days? Prioritizing is, at its core, an act of mindfulness, a way of bringing clarity and focus to a world often filled with noise. Think about it. When was the last time you truly paused and asked yourself, what is most important to me today? For many of us, our days are filled with commitments that don't necessarily align with what we value most. We say yes to obligations out of habit or fear of disappointing others, only to realize later that we've neglected the things that genuinely matter: our health, our relationships, our personal growth. Prioritizing isn't just about managing time. It's about managing energy. When we choose to focus on what truly matters, we honor ourselves and the people and goals that deserve our attention. This process begins with self-awareness. It requires an honest examination of what holds value in our lives and the courage to let go of what doesn't. Just as a gardener prunes a plant to help it grow, we must learn to prune our schedules and commitments to make room for what nurtures us. In Buddhist teachings, the image of the lotus flower is often used to symbolize this growth. The lotus rises from the mud and blooms in purity, untouched by the dirt from which it grows. Similarly, we have the capacity to rise above life's distractions and cultivate lives of intention and meaning. However, this isn't always easy. The modern world thrives on busyness. Being busy has become a badge of honor, a way to signal productivity and importance. But busyness doesn't always equate to purpose. It's easy to mistake a packed schedule for a fulfilling life. Yet many people find themselves exhausted, overwhelmed, and wondering why they feel unfulfilled despite all their efforts. The truth is, being busy without a clear sense of purpose can leave us feeling empty, like we're running in circles without ever moving forward. To break free from this cycle, it's essential to shift from aimless activity to intentional living. Start by asking yourself a simple but powerful question. Am I busy doing what matters? Or am I busy just being busy? This small act of reflection can be transformative. It shines a light on the difference between tasks that bring us closer to our goals and distractions that drain our energy. Imagine a jar filled with rocks, pebbles, and sand. If you fill the jar with sand first, there's no room for the rocks. But if you place the rocks first, the things that truly matter, you'll find that the pebbles and sand can still fit around them. The same is true of our time. When we prioritize the big rocks in our lives, our health, our loved ones, our personal growth, everything else tends to fall into place. The beauty of prioritizing is that it not only brings clarity but also peace. When we focus on what matters most, we free ourselves from the guilt and stress of trying to do it all. We stop measuring our worth by how much we accomplish and start aligning our actions with what truly fulfills us. This alignment, in turn, fosters a deep sense of self-worth. When you prioritize your well-being, you're sending a message to yourself: I am worthy of time, care, and attention. But how do we begin to prioritize in a world that constantly pulls us in different directions? The answer lies in small, intentional practices. One of the most effective ways to start is by creating a daily ritual of reflection. Each morning, take 5 minutes to ask yourself, what matters most to me today? Write down your top priorities, no more than 3, and let those guide your decisions throughout the day. By anchoring your actions to your values, you ensure that your energy flows toward what truly counts. Another key to prioritizing is learning to say no. This can be difficult, especially if you're someone who tends to put others' needs before your own. But saying no to what doesn't serve you is, in essence, saying yes to what does. It's an act of self-respect, a way of protecting your time and energy for the things that matter most. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. Finally, remember that prioritizing is a practice, not a one-time decision. There will be days when you feel pulled in 100 directions, and that's okay. What matters is returning to your center, again and again, with compassion and patience. As the Buddha taught, a jug fills drop by drop. Small, consistent efforts to prioritize what matters will, over time, lead to profound transformation. In the end, prioritizing is about more than managing time. It's about honoring the life you've been given. It's about choosing to live intentionally, guided by what you value most, rather than being swept away by the demands of the world. When you align your actions with your values, you create a life that feels authentic, purposeful, and deeply fulfilling. And in doing so, you not only cultivate your own happiness, but also inspire those around you to do the same. 2. Resilience, turning pain into strength. Life has a way of presenting us with challenges that feel insurmountable at times. One moment, everything seems to be in order, and the next, You're faced with a storm that threatens to overturn everything you've worked for or believed in. But here's the truth. These moments, as painful as they may seem, are not here to break you. They're here to shape you. As the saying goes, first it hurts, then it makes you stronger. This isn't just a motivational phrase. It's a reality deeply rooted in human experience and echoed in Buddhist philosophy. In Buddhism, suffering is not seen as a punishment or something to avoid at all costs. Instead, it is a natural part of life. As explained in Dukkha, the first noble truth, suffering exists, but it is not the end of the story. In fact, it's often the beginning of profound transformation. Pain has a way of revealing what's hidden beneath the surface, our attachments, our fears, and our expectations. It's like holding a mirror up to ourselves, forcing us to confront what we might otherwise ignore. This confrontation, while uncomfortable, is an invitation to grow. Imagine standing by the ocean during a storm. The surface is wild and chaotic, with waves crashing against each other in a relentless frenzy. But if you dive beneath the surface, just a few meters down, the water is calm and steady. That depth represents resilience. It's the part of you that remains steady and strong, even when everything above feels like it's falling apart. Resilience isn't about pretending the storm isn't happening. It's about finding the stillness within yourself that allows you to navigate it without being consumed by it. One of the most powerful tools for building resilience is meditation. Through meditation, you learn to observe your thoughts and emotions without becoming attached to them. You begin to see pain not as an enemy, but as a messenger. Meditation creates space between you and your suffering, allowing you to respond with clarity rather than react with fear. It's in this space that resilience is born. When faced with challenges, it's natural to ask, why is this happening to me? But what if you reframe the question, what if, instead, you asked, what is this teaching me? This subtle shift in perspective can be transformative. It turns struggles into opportunities for growth. It helps you see that every difficulty carries a lesson, even if it's not immediately apparent. Perhaps a failed relationship teaches you about self-love. Maybe a career setback forces you to reevaluate your true passions. Or perhaps a period of uncertainty teaches you the value of patience and faith. Consider the story of the butterfly struggling to emerge from its cocoon. If you try to help by cutting the cocoon open, the butterfly's wings will never fully develop, and it won't be able to fly. The struggle is necessary for its strength. The same is true for us. Every challenge, every painful experience, is like that cocoon, shaping us, strengthening us, preparing us to spread our wings and soar. This doesn't mean that pain is easy or that we should seek it out. It simply means that we don't have to fear it. Pain is a part of life, but it doesn't define life. What defines life is how we respond to it. Do we let it harden us, or do we let it soften us? Do we let it close us off, or do we let it open us up to new possibilities? These are the choices that determine whether pain becomes a stumbling block or a stepping stone. Resilience is not about being unbreakable. It's about being flexible. Think of bamboo in the wind. It bends but doesn't break. It adapts to the forces around it while remaining rooted in the ground. Resilience is much the same. It's the ability to bend with life's challenges without losing your grounding. It's about learning to dance in the rain rather than waiting for the storm to pass. One of the most profound aspects of resilience is that it often reveals strengths we didn't know we had. Think back to a time when you faced a significant challenge. At the moment, it may have felt overwhelming, even unbearable, but somehow, you made it through. And in doing so, you discovered something about yourself, perhaps a well of inner strength, a sense of resourcefulness, or a deeper capacity for compassion. These discoveries are the gifts of resilience, hidden beneath the surface of pain. Building resilience doesn't happen overnight, but it's a skill that can be cultivated. It starts with small, intentional steps. The next time you're faced with a challenge, pause and take a deep breath. Instead of rushing to fix the problem or escape the discomfort, sit with it for a moment. Ask yourself, what is this moment asking of me? What can I learn from this? Write down your thoughts in a journal, even if they don't make sense right away. Over time, you'll begin to see patterns, insights, and lessons emerging from your experiences. Another way to strengthen resilience is through connection. Share your struggles with someone you trust, a friend, a family member, or even a therapist. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a bridge. It reminds us that we're not alone, that others have faced similar storms and come out stronger on the other side. Their stories can inspire us, just as ours can inspire them. Ultimately, resilience is about finding meaning in the messiness of life. It's about embracing the truth that pain and joy, loss and love, failure and success are all part of the same journey. And in embracing this truth, we find freedom. We stop resisting life and start flowing with it. Life will always have its storms, but you have the strength to weather them. The calm, steady depths of the ocean are already within you, waiting to be discovered. Each challenge you face is an opportunity to dive deeper, to grow stronger, and to emerge wiser. And as you do, you'll realize that resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about transforming pain into strength, obstacles into opportunities, and setbacks into stepping stones toward the life you were meant to live. 2. Discipline and hard work. Life's challenges test us in many ways, but perhaps one of the most defining measures of our character is how we balance what we want now with what we desire most. This is the essence of discipline, the ability to delay gratification and stay committed to a higher purpose. It's a quiet, steady force, and while it rarely feels glamorous or exciting, it is the foundation of every meaningful achievement. Discipline doesn't just happen, it's a choice, repeated over and over, even when the path forward feels uncertain. This idea is beautifully reflected in the Buddhist principle of diligence. Diligence is not about working relentlessly until exhaustion, but about applying consistent effort toward goals that align with our values and purpose. It's about planting seeds in the soil of intention and then tending to them patiently, even when the results aren't immediately visible. Just as a seed cannot grow into a tree overnight, our dreams require time, care, and unwavering commitment. They need us to nurture them on days when the sun is shining and, more importantly, on days when the rain doesn't seem to stop. But here's the challenge. In a world that thrives on instant gratification, discipline can feel like swimming against the current. We're surrounded by quick fixes and shortcuts, messages that promise overnight success or happiness in the blink of an eye. The allure of these shortcuts is strong, but they often lead to fleeting satisfaction rather than lasting fulfillment. True growth requires time and effort, and discipline is the bridge that carries us from where we are to where we want to be. Think about the last time you set a big goal for yourself. Perhaps it was learning a new skill, improving your health, or pursuing a career milestone. At the beginning, the excitement of the goal likely fueled your motivation, but as the novelty faded and the hard work began, doubt or procrastination may have crept in. This is where discipline becomes crucial. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. Discipline is not just about willpower, it's about alignment. It's about aligning your daily actions with what truly matters to you. When your actions reflect your values, discipline becomes less about sacrifice and more about investment. Each choice you make, no matter how small, is like a drop of water nurturing the roots of your dreams. Over time, these small, consistent actions build momentum, creating a ripple effect that leads to profound change. Consider this. When you look at a tree, it's easy to admire its height, its strength, and its beauty. But what you don't see are the countless days, months, and years it spent growing roots deep into the earth. Those roots are its foundation, allowing it to stand tall against storms and provide shade and fruit. Your discipline is like those roots. It's not always visible to others, and sometimes it may not even feel rewarding in the moment, but it's what grounds you and allows you to grow. Discipline also teaches us an important lesson about patience. In today's fast-paced world, we often expect immediate results, but the most meaningful achievements take time. Whether it's building a career, nurturing a relationship, or mastering a skill, the process matters as much as the outcome. Each step you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to your goal. And even when progress feels slow, remember that the journey itself is shaping you into the person capable of reaching your destination. Of course, Discipline is not without its challenges. There will be days when doubt whispers in your ear, telling you to quit. There will be moments when the effort feels too great and the reward too distant. But it's in these moments that discipline becomes your greatest ally. It reminds you that the discomfort of today is temporary, but the rewards of perseverance last a lifetime. Each time you choose discipline over distraction, you strengthen your ability to overcome obstacles and build resilience. The beauty of discipline is that it's not about perfection, it's about progress. You don't have to be perfect every day. You just have to keep showing up, even small. Imperfect efforts add up over time. Think of a river carving through rock. It doesn't happen in a single day, but through consistent flow, the river shapes the landscape. In the same way, your consistent efforts, no matter how small, have the power to shape your life. Another powerful aspect of discipline is its ability to build self-trust. Each time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, you send a message to your subconscious: I can rely on myself. This trust is invaluable, especially when life throws unexpected challenges your way. Knowing that you have the discipline to stay the course, even when things get tough, builds a sense of confidence and inner strength that no external validation can replace. To cultivate discipline, start by breaking your big goals into small, manageable actions. Instead of focusing on the overwhelming end result, ask yourself, what can I do today to move one step closer to my goal? These small victories, though they may seem insignificant in the moment, create a sense of accomplishment that fuels your motivation to keep going. Another key to maintaining discipline is to embrace routines. Routines provide structure and eliminate decision fatigue, making it easier to stay on track. For example, if you're working toward better health, commit to a daily walk or a consistent meal plan. If your goal is personal growth, carve out time each day for reading or meditation. These routines may seem simple, but over time, they build the habits that lead to lasting change. Finally, don't forget to celebrate your progress. Discipline doesn't mean denying yourself joy. It means finding joy in the process. Take a moment to acknowledge how far you've come, even if you're not yet where you want to be. Gratitude for the journey fuels your resilience and keeps you moving forward. Discipline is not just a tool for achieving goals. It's a way of life. It's the practice of showing up for yourself, day after day, even when it's hard. It's the commitment to honoring your potential and striving for what truly matters. And while the path of discipline may not always be easy, it is always worth it. Because in the end, discipline is what turns dreams into reality, aspirations into achievements, and intentions into a life well lived. 4. The art of letting go. Life is filled with moments of holding on and moments of letting go. At first glance, holding on feels like the safer choice. It's familiar, comfortable, and reassuring. But over time, the things we cling to can become burdens that weigh us down, preventing us from moving forward. Letting go, though often difficult, is an act of courage and self-compassion. It's a way of clearing space in your life for what truly belongs, for what aligns with who you are becoming. In Buddhism, the concept of impermanence teaches us that everything in life is temporary. Relationships change, emotions evolve, and possessions fade. This truth can feel unsettling, but it's also incredibly liberating. When we embrace impermanence, we begin to understand that clinging to what no longer serves us only creates unnecessary suffering. Letting go, then, is not about losing something. It's about freeing ourselves from the chains of attachment. Imagine carrying a heavy bag for miles. At first, you might convince yourself it's manageable, even necessary. But as the journey continues, the weight becomes unbearable. The longer you hold on, the more it drains your energy. Finally, you set the bag down. At that moment, relief floods in, not because you've lost something, but because you've released what was holding you back. Letting go is much the same. It's an act of wisdom, not weakness, and it opens the door to growth and possibility. But letting go is rarely easy. It often requires us to face our fears, the fear of change, the fear of uncertainty, and the fear of loss. We hold on to toxic relationships because we're afraid of being alone. We cling to old habits because they feel safe, even when they're harmful. We resist releasing outdated beliefs because they've become part of our identity. Yet, as long as we remain tied to these things, we limit our potential and block the flow of new opportunities. The first step to letting go is recognizing what no longer serves you. This might be a relationship that drains your energy instead of uplifting you, a habit that keeps you stuck in a cycle of negativity, or even a thought pattern that holds you back from pursuing your dreams. Take a moment to reflect. What in your life feels heavy? What feels out of alignment with your values and goals? Identifying these areas is the beginning of the letting go process. Once you've identified what you need to release, the next step is finding the courage to act. This doesn't mean you have to make drastic changes overnight. Letting go is a gradual process, and it starts with small, intentional steps. If it's a toxic relationship, begin by setting boundaries or limiting your interactions. If it's a habit, replace it with a healthier alternative. If it's a thought pattern, practice reframing it with positive affirmations or journaling. Each small step brings you closer to freedom. One of the most challenging aspects of letting go is dealing with the emotional attachments we've formed. We often romanticize the past, holding on to the memories of what something or someone used to be rather than accepting what they've become. This is where trust becomes essential. Trust that what's meant for you will remain in your life, and what's not will make way for something better. Trust that the universe, or the flow of life itself, knows what you need even when it feels unclear. Letting go is not just about relationships or external circumstances. It's also about releasing the internal baggage we carry. Regrets, guilt, and resentment are some of the heaviest loads we bear. They keep us tethered to the past, unable to fully embrace the present. Forgiveness, both of yourself and others, is a powerful tool for letting go of this emotional weight. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful actions. It means freeing yourself from the pain they've caused. It's about reclaiming your peace. Think of letting go as pruning a tree. When you cut away the dead branches, you create space for new growth. The tree becomes healthier, stronger, and more vibrant. Similarly, when you release what no longer serves you, you make room for new opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with your true self. Letting go is not an act of loss. It's an act of renewal. It's important to remember that letting go is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice. Life is constantly changing, and with each new chapter, we're called to release something old to make way for the new. Some days, letting go feels like a relief. Other days, it feels like an uphill battle. Both are valid, and both are part of the process. Be gentle with yourself as you navigate this journey. To cultivate the art of letting go, start by practicing mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations. Notice when you're holding on too tightly and ask yourself why. What are you afraid of losing? What are you hoping to gain by holding on? Often, simply bringing awareness to these questions can help you loosen your grip. Another helpful practice is gratitude. When you focus on what you have rather than what you've lost, it becomes easier to release attachments. Gratitude shifts your perspective, reminding you that every ending makes space for a new beginning. It allows you to see the beauty in impermanence and to trust the flow of life. Finally, surround yourself with people who support your growth. Letting go can feel lonely at times, but you don't have to do it alone. Seek out friends, mentors, or communities that uplift and encourage you. Their presence can remind you that while letting go is difficult, it's also a shared human experience, one that leads to greater freedom and joy. Letting go is not about erasing the past. It's about making peace with it. It's about acknowledging what was, appreciating what it taught you, and then releasing it with love and gratitude. It's about creating space in your life for what truly matters, for the things and people that bring you closer to the person you're meant to be. And as you let go, you'll find that you're not losing anything at all. Instead, you're gaining freedom, clarity, and the courage to embrace whatever comes next. 5. The role of health and time. The choices we make about how we care for ourselves ripple into every aspect of our lives. In many ways, the body and mind are not separate entities, but two parts of the same whole, intricately connected and interdependent. When you neglect one, the other inevitably suffers. It's a simple truth that's easy to forget in the hustle of daily life. But as the saying goes, Take care of your body. Health is another form of wealth. This wisdom reminds us that while we may chase financial stability, success, or other external goals, none of it matters if our foundation, our health, is crumbling. In Buddhist teachings, the principle of right effort speaks directly to this balance. Right effort encourages us to use our energy wisely, directing it toward actions that bring peace, growth, and long-term well-being. It reminds us that discipline isn't just about working hard, it's about working smart, ensuring that our efforts align with what truly nourishes us. And what could be more nourishing than the very body that allows us to experience life? Think of your body as a vessel, carrying you through your spiritual and physical journey. It's what allows you to connect with others, pursue your dreams, and explore the world. Yet, how often do we take this gift for granted? We push our bodies to the limit, neglecting rest, proper nutrition, or exercise, and then wonder why we feel exhausted or disconnected. The truth is, our physical health is not separate from our mental or emotional health. It's deeply intertwined. When your body feels strong and cared for, your mind becomes clearer, your emotions more balanced, and your capacity for joy greater. Time, like health, is a finite resource. Both are precious, and both can slip away faster than we realize. When we're young, time feels infinite. We tell ourselves we'll take better care of ourselves someday, or that we'll make time for rest and joy once we've accomplished enough. But someday has a way of turning into never. The present moment is the only time we truly have, and how we use it shapes the quality of our lives. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing we're too busy to prioritize health. Work deadlines, family obligations, and endless distractions often take precedence. But if we don't make time for our well-being now, we'll be forced to make time for illness later. Neglecting health is like driving a car without ever stopping to refuel or maintain it. It may seem fine in the short term, but eventually, it will break down. Caring for your body isn't just about avoiding illness, it's about enhancing the quality of your life, making every moment more vibrant and meaningful. This doesn't mean you need to overhaul your life overnight. Small, consistent actions are far more impactful than drastic, unsustainable changes. Start by committing to one simple practice each day: a short walk, a healthy meal, or even 5 minutes of stretching. These small acts of care may seem insignificant, but over time, they build momentum. Like drops of water filling a jug, these daily efforts create a foundation of strength and vitality. Mindfulness can also play a transformative role in how we approach our health. For example, consider the act of eating. How often do we eat on autopilot, barely noticing the food in front of us? Practicing mindful eating, slowing down, savoring each bite, and appreciating the nourishment it provides can turn a mundane activity into an act of gratitude and self-care. Similarly, movement doesn't have to be about rigorous exercise or achieving a certain physique. It can be as simple as dancing, stretching, or walking in nature. Anything that allows you to connect with and honor your body. Sleep is another pillar of health that's often overlooked. In our productivity-obsessed culture, rest can feel like a luxury or even a sign of laziness. But sleep is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the time when your body heals, your mind processes the day, and your spirit recharges. Treating sleep as sacred is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. The connection between health and time becomes even clearer when we consider the concept of impermanence. Just as everything in life is temporary, so too is our time in these bodies. This isn't a cause for fear, but a call to action. It's a reminder to treat our bodies with respect and gratitude while we have them. Each day is an opportunity to care for the vessel that allows us to live, love, and grow. One of the most beautiful aspects of prioritizing health is the ripple effect it creates. When you care for yourself, you inspire those around you to do the same. Your energy shifts, your presence becomes more grounded, and your relationships deepen. Taking care of your health is not just an act of self-love. It's an act of love for the people in your life. When you're at your best, you're better able to support and uplift those around you. It's also important to remember that health is not about perfection. It's not about adhering to a strict regimen or achieving an idealized version of wellness. True True health is about balance and listening to your body. It's about tuning in to what you need in the moment and giving yourself permission to rest when you're tired or to move when you feel energized. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and care you would offer a loved one. To truly honor your health, it helps to reframe how you think about self-care. Instead of seeing it as something extra or indulgent, recognize it as essential. Self-care is not selfish. It's the foundation that allows you to show up fully in every other area of your life. When you invest in your health, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. As you move through each day, take a moment to reflect on how you're using your time and energy. Are you investing in actions that nourish your body and mind? Or are you allowing distractions to pull you away from what truly matters? The principle of right effort reminds us to focus on what brings long-term peace and joy, even if it requires discipline in the short term. It's a gentle nudge to prioritize the things that create lasting well-being. Your health and time are gifts, and how you care for them shapes the life you create. By nurturing your body with kindness and care, you honor the vessel that carries you through this incredible journey. And by using your time wisely, you ensure that each moment contributes to a life of purpose, presence, and peace. These are choices that, when made consistently, have the power to transform not only your health but the way you experience life itself. 6. Living authentically. Life often feels like a stage where we are performers, constantly judged by an unseen audience. Each decision, action, or word is met with approval, criticism, or indifference. And while it's human nature to want to be liked, to belong, and to feel accepted, the pursuit of external validation can become a heavy burden. You're being judged no matter what, so be who you want to be. This simple yet profound reminder encourages us to stop chasing the approval of others and start living authentically, in alignment with who we truly are. In Buddhist philosophy, the practice of right speech and right view offers a pathway to authenticity. Right speech teaches us to communicate with integrity, ensuring that our words reflect truth and kindness. Right view, on the other hand, is about seeing the world clearly and understanding our place within it. Together, these principles encourage us to live in a way that honors our inner truth rather than bending to the expectations of others. Seeking approval often leads to suffering because it pulls us away from ourselves, creating a gap between who we are and who we think we should be. Living authentically, however, bridges that gap, bringing peace and liberation. Think of a river. It doesn't try to be the ocean, the rain, or anything else. It simply flows, true to its nature, carving its own unique path through the landscape. There's no competition or comparison. It just is. In the same way, you are unique. The world doesn't need a copy of someone else. It needs you. Your strengths, quirks, and imperfections are what make you who you are. Embracing your individuality isn't just an act of self-acceptance. It's a gift to the world. Living authentically doesn't mean you have to be perfect. In fact, authenticity is the opposite of perfection. It's about honesty, being truthful with yourself and others about who you are, what you believe, and what you value. It's about having the courage to show up as your true self, even when it feels vulnerable or risky. In a world that often rewards conformity, authenticity requires strength, but the reward is worth it. A life that feels deeply aligned, meaningful, and free. One of the biggest barriers to authenticity is the fear of judgment. What will people think if I speak my truth, pursue my passion, or choose a different path? This fear can be paralyzing, but it's important to remember that judgment is inevitable. People will form opinions about you no matter what you do. You could live your life trying to please everyone, and there will still be critics. The question, then, is not whether you'll be judged, but whether you're living in a way that feels true to you. If you're going to be judged either way, why not be judged for being yourself? Another challenge is the pressure to compare ourselves to others. Social media, societal expectations, and cultural norms often create a narrow definition of success, beauty, or worthiness. But comparison is the thief of joy. When you measure yourself against others, you lose sight of your own unique path. Remember, you're not meant to follow someone else's journey, you're meant to create your own. Just as no two rivers flow in exactly the same way, no two lives are meant to look alike. Authenticity also requires self-awareness. To live authentically, you must first know yourself. This means taking the time to reflect on your values, passions, and priorities. What truly matters to you? What brings you joy? What feels aligned with your core beliefs? Self-awareness is the foundation of authenticity because it allows you to make choices that honor your true self. Without it, you risk living a life that's shaped by external influences rather than your inner truth. But self-awareness alone isn't enough. You also need courage. It takes courage to say no to what doesn't align with your values, to set boundaries, and to stand firm in your beliefs. It takes courage to pursue your dreams, even when others don't understand or support them. And it takes courage to be vulnerable, to show the world who you really are, imperfections and all. This courage doesn't come overnight, but it grows with practice. Each time you make a choice that aligns with your true self, you strengthen your authenticity. Living authentically doesn't mean rejecting feedback or ignoring the needs of others. It's not about being selfish or unyielding. Instead, it's about finding a balance between honoring your truth and respecting the perspectives of those around you. Authenticity allows for growth. It's a process of becoming, not a fixed state. As you learn more about yourself and the world, your authenticity will evolve. The key is to remain open and flexible while staying grounded in your values. To start living more authentically, take a moment to reflect on the qualities that define your true self. Are you kind, creative, curious, or adventurous? Write down 3 qualities that feel most aligned with who you are. Then ask yourself, are your actions reflecting these qualities? If not, identify one small change you can make to bring your actions into alignment with your values. For example, if creativity is a core part of who you are, but your daily routine leaves no room for it, carve out time for a creative activity. If kindness is important to you, look for ways to show kindness in your interactions with others. Another powerful practice is mindfulness. By being present and aware, you can tune out the noise of external expectations and tune into your inner voice. Mindfulness helps you recognize when you're acting out of fear, obligation, or comparison, allowing you to course correct and return to your authentic self. It also helps you navigate the discomfort that often comes with authenticity. Vulnerability can feel uncomfortable, but mindfulness reminds you that it's a natural part of the process. Gratitude is another tool for living authentically. When you appreciate who you are and what you have, you're less likely to seek validation from others. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, helping you find contentment in your unique journey. It reminds you that you don't need to be anyone other than yourself to live a meaningful, fulfilling life. Living authentically is not always easy, but it's one of the most rewarding choices you can make. It frees you from the constant need for approval and allows you to live with integrity and joy. It creates deeper, more genuine connections with others because when you show up as your true self, you invite others to do the same. And perhaps most importantly, it gives you the peace of knowing that you're living a life that's true to you. The world doesn't need another person trying to fit into a mold. It needs you, your voice, your perspective, and your unique contribution. By living authentically, you not only honor yourself but also inspire others to do the same. You become a reminder that it's okay to be different, to follow your own path, and to live a life that feels deeply and unapologetically yours. And in doing so, you create a ripple effect that brings more truth, freedom, and light into the world. 7. Patience and trusting the process. In a world that moves at lightning speed, where instant results and immediate gratification are the norm, patience can feel like a forgotten art. Yet, it remains one of the most essential qualities for a fulfilling and meaningful life. Great things take time. This timeless truth reminds us that growth, success, and transformation don't happen overnight. They unfold gradually, like a flower that blooms in its own season, in its own time. And just as a gardener cannot force a flower to open, we too must learn to trust the process of life. In Buddhist philosophy, patience, or khandi, is more than just enduring delays or setbacks. It's about cultivating a calm and steady heart. even in the face of uncertainty or difficulty. It's about accepting the present moment for what it is, rather than resisting it or wishing it away. Patience teaches us to let go of the need to control every outcome and instead embrace the journey, trusting that each step, no matter how small or slow, is bringing us closer to where we're meant to be. But trusting the process isn't always easy. Life can feel unpredictable, and the path forward isn't always clear. There are times when progress seems non-existent, when the effort we're putting in doesn't seem to yield results. It's in these moments that doubt begins to creep in. Are we on the right path? Is all this work even worth it? This is where patience becomes a powerful ally. It reminds us that just because we can't see the results yet doesn't mean they aren't taking shape. Imagine planting a tree. For weeks, even months, the seed remains hidden beneath the soil. You water it, care for it, and trust that something is happening, even though you can't see it. And then, one day, a small sprout emerges. That sprout didn't appear out of nowhere. It's the result of all the unseen growth happening beneath the surface. Your life is no different. The efforts you make today may not yield visible results immediately, but they're laying the foundation for future growth and success. Patience also helps us reframe frustration. When things aren't happening as quickly as we'd like, it's natural to feel discouraged. But instead of focusing on what hasn't happened yet, patience invites us to appreciate what is happening. Every small step, no matter how insignificant it seems, is progress. Even setbacks can be seen as part of the journey, teaching us lessons and building our resilience. By shifting our perspective in this way, we transform frustration into peace and perseverance. Another aspect of patience is learning to let go of the timeline we impose on ourselves. We often set arbitrary deadlines for our goals, believing that we must achieve certain things by a certain age or within a specific time frame. But life doesn't operate on a fixed schedule, and neither does growth. Personal transformation and meaningful achievements take time, and they unfold at their own pace. By releasing our attachment to these self-imposed timelines, we give ourselves the freedom to grow naturally, without the added pressure of unrealistic expectations. Trusting the process also means embracing the idea that life is not a straight line. The path to success or fulfillment is rarely linear. It's filled with twists, turns, detours, and even moments of backtracking. But each of these experiences, even the difficult ones, serves a purpose. They shape us, teach us, and prepare us for what's ahead. When we trust that every experience is part of a greater plan, we can find peace even in the midst of uncertainty. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate patience is through mindfulness. By bringing our attention to the present moment, we learn to let go of the constant worry about the future or regret about the past. Mindfulness helps us see the beauty in the here and now, reminding us that every moment, no matter how small, is an essential part of the journey. Whether it's the quiet satisfaction of working toward a goal or the simple joy of a conversation with a loved one, these moments are what make life meaningful. Gratitude also plays a key role in developing patience. When we focus on what we already have, rather than what we lack or are still striving for, we shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude allows us to see progress, even when it feels slow. It reminds us that each day brings new opportunities for growth and that the journey itself is something to be cherished. To practice patience, start with small, intentional actions. The next time you feel yourself growing frustrated or impatient, take a deep breath and pause. Repeat this mantra to yourself: I trust the process. Let these words anchor you in the present and remind you that great things take time. Write them down if you need to, placing them somewhere you'll see often. A gentle reminder to stay grounded in your journey. Another practical approach is to break your goals into smaller, manageable steps. Instead of focusing on the end result, concentrate on the progress you can make today. Celebrate each small victory, no matter how minor it seems. These moments of progress build momentum and help you stay motivated, even when the finish line feels far away. It's also helpful to surround yourself with reminders of patience. Look to nature for inspiration. The way a tree takes years to grow strong and tall. The way a river carves through rock over centuries. The way the seasons change in their own time. These natural processes remind us that growth and transformation are slow but steady. They reassure us that, like nature, we too are unfolding exactly as we should. Patience is not about passively waiting. It's about actively trusting. It's about continuing to show up, put in the effort, and believe in the possibilities, even when you can't see the full picture. It's about holding on to faith that the work you're doing, the seeds you're planting, will one day bear fruit. And in the meantime, it's about finding joy and meaning in the process itself. Life is a journey, not a race. And while the destination is important, so too is the path we take to get there. By practicing patience and trusting the process, we allow ourselves to experience the fullness of life, the lessons, the growth, the beauty, and the peace. We give ourselves permission to slow down, to breathe, and to savor each step along the way. Because in the end, it's not just about where we're going, it's about who we become as we get there. 8. Practical life lessons and actionable steps. Life is often a collection of small, seemingly insignificant moments that, when strung together, create the fabric of who we are and what we become. The choices we make each day, how we think, how we act, how we treat ourselves and others, are the building blocks of our lives. While grand gestures and big milestones are memorable, it's the small, consistent actions that truly shape us. As Buddha wisely taught, a jug fills drop by drop, and it's in these small, intentional steps that profound transformation begins. Starting your day with mindfulness is one of the most powerful ways to set the tone for everything that follows. The world has a way of pulling us in 100 directions as soon as we wake up, but taking just a few moments to center yourself can create a sense of calm and clarity that carries through the rest of your day. Mindfulness doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as sitting quietly, taking a few deep breaths, and asking yourself, what matters most to me today? By setting your priorities and intentions early, you create a mental roadmap, ensuring your time and energy are spent on what truly aligns with your values. Gratitude is another practice that has the power to shift your entire perspective. In a world that constantly encourages us to want more, do more, and be more, it's easy to fall into a mindset of lack, focusing on what we don't have or haven't achieved yet. But gratitude is like a lens that brings the abundance in your life into focus. When you take the time to acknowledge what you're grateful for, you start to see the richness that already exists. It could be as simple as the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the kindness of a stranger, or the comfort of a familiar routine. These moments, though small, remind us that there is so much to appreciate, even amidst life's challenges. Dedicate time each day to self-care, not as a luxury, but as a necessity. It's easy to push self-care aside when life gets busy, convincing ourselves that we'll prioritize our well-being when there's time. But the truth is, there will never be time unless we make it. Self-care doesn't have to mean expensive spa days or elaborate rituals. It can be as simple as preparing a nourishing meal, going for a walk, or taking a few minutes to stretch and breathe. These moments of care remind your body and mind that they matter, creating a foundation of strength and resilience. Reflecting on impermanence is another key step in creating a life of peace and purpose. In Buddhist teachings, impermanence is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It's a reminder that everything in life is fluid: people, situations, emotions, and even ourselves. When we accept impermanence, we become less attached to outcomes and more present in the moment. Reflecting on impermanence can be as simple as asking yourself, what am I holding on to that no longer serves me? It might be a habit, a belief, or even a relationship. Releasing these things creates space for growth and new opportunities, allowing you to move forward with a lighter heart. Patience and trust in your journey are perhaps the most challenging steps, especially in a culture that prizes speed and efficiency. It's natural to want results quickly, to feel that our efforts are immediately rewarded. But growth, whether it's personal, professional, or spiritual, doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that requires time, effort, and faith. Patience isn't about passively waiting. It's about actively trusting that each step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your destination. When doubt creeps in, Remind yourself that progress often happens beneath the surface, invisible but no less real. Trust that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. Each of these practices, mindfulness, gratitude, self-care, reflecting on impermanence, and cultivating patience, may seem small on their own, but together, they create a ripple effect that can transform your life in profound ways. They are not quick fixes or one-time actions. They are habits, choices you make day after day, that build momentum over time. They ground you in the present, connect you to what matters most, and guide you toward a life of meaning and fulfillment. The beauty of these steps is that they don't require any special tools or resources, just a willingness to begin. You don't need to wait for the perfect time to start practicing them, because there is no perfect time. The perfect time is now, in this moment, exactly as you are. You don't need to master them all at once, either. Start with one small action, maybe setting an intention in the morning or writing down 3 things you're grateful for each evening. Let that one action become a habit, and then build from there. Transformation doesn't happen in an instant. It happens slowly, quietly, in the small, consistent choices you make every day. And while the results may not be visible right away, trust that they are happening. Each time you choose mindfulness over distraction, gratitude over scarcity, care over neglect, or patience over frustration, you are taking a step closer to the life you want to create. And in doing so, you are not just changing your own life, you're also inspiring those around you. Your actions, no matter how small, have the power to create a ripple effect, encouraging others to reflect on their own choices and begin their own journeys of transformation. As you take these steps, remember to be gentle with yourself. There will be days when you feel discouraged, when progress seems slow, or when old habits resurface. That's okay. Growth is not a straight line. It's a winding path, filled with peaks and valleys. What matters is not that you never stumble, but that you keep moving forward, one step at a time. Every drop of water fills the jug. Every small action contributes to the bigger picture. And with each step, you are not just creating a life of meaning. You are becoming the person you were always meant to be. Trust the process, honor the journey, and know that the effort you put in today is shaping a brighter, more fulfilling tomorrow. As we come to the end of this journey together, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've explored. These lessons about prioritizing what truly matters, cultivating resilience, living authentically, and embracing patience are not just fleeting ideas to ponder. They are practical, actionable steps that hold the potential to transform not just how you think, but how you live. They invite you to step into a life of purpose, balance, and fulfillment, where your daily actions align with your deepest values. Change, as we've discussed, isn't something that happens in an instant. It's a process, a series of small but intentional steps that guide you toward growth. Each decision to embrace mindfulness, each moment of gratitude, each act of self-care, and each instance of letting go brings you closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. Transformation isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about showing up for yourself each day, knowing that every effort you make is an investment in your future. Think of yourself as a gardener, tending to the seeds of your potential. Some days, the work will feel rewarding. Other days, it may feel challenging. But with patience and persistence, those seeds will grow into something extraordinary. The beauty of this journey is that you're not alone. Everyone who has watched this video, everyone who has resonated with these lessons, is walking a similar path. Together, we are part of a community of growth and wisdom, united by a shared desire to live more meaningfully. As you move forward, I encourage you to carry these lessons with you, not as rules to follow, but as gentle reminders to guide you. When life feels overwhelming, remember to pause, take a breath, and realign with what truly matters. When challenges arise, let resilience be your anchor. When self-doubt creeps in, remind yourself that authenticity is your greatest strength. And when progress feels slow, trust the process and know that great things take time. Your journey begins now, in this moment, with the choices you make today. It's an invitation to live with intention, to embrace the beauty of impermanence, and to create a life that feels deeply aligned with who you are. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more of yourself, your true, authentic self. I'd love to hear what resonated with you most from this video. Which lesson spoke to your heart? Which step do you feel ready to take in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read everyone, and your insights inspire not just me but this entire community. Let's use this space to lift each other up, share positivity, and encourage one another on this incredible journey. Thank you for spending this time with me today and for choosing to invest in yourself. Your willingness to grow, to learn, and to reflect is a testament to your strength and courage. If this video has brought value to your life, don't forget to like it, share it with someone who might need these reminders, and subscribe to join us for more content like this. Together, we can continue to explore these lessons and inspire each other to live with greater wisdom and purpose. Your journey is uniquely yours, but you don't have to walk it alone. Let's keep growing together, one step, one choice, and one moment at a time. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, and remember, you have everything you need within you to create a life of meaning, peace, and joy.